So till now we have seen what are all the various types of entities about which we can have knowledge, and we have also seen what are the means by which we can have that knowledge. So we can have knowledge via perception, or by inference, or by comparison, or by testimonial accounts we can have. But we have to answer the question, why should we seek knowledge in the first place, right? So if something is already known, then there is no scope for new knowledge in that area. So what we are trying to find out in this lesson is what are all the various methodology that the Indian thinkers use to generate new knowledge. So but if it is already known, everything that is there to know about something is already known, then the prospect of new knowledge does not arise. And on the other hand, if it is completely alien, let us say, there is absolutely no groundwork done for that, in that case also it is somewhat unlikely that some new knowledge will come. It is only when there is some ambiguity is there that the scope for new knowledge increases. So the recognition of this ambiguity in existing bank of knowledge is the key to go and find new knowledge. So the doubt whether light is a wave or is it a particle, this kind of a doubt that you get is the beginning of any knowledge creation exercise. So the Sanskrit word for doubt in the Nyaya framework is Saṃśaya. So unless you have this doubt or Saṃśaya, you will not go ahead in getting knowledge. So they understood the significance of doubt, and they tried to give a classification, or what are the various kinds of doubts that a person can have. So after some analysis, they said that doubt can be of 5 types. Firstly, you can have a doubt because you find several common properties in something, so you are not able to decide this way or that way. So at a distance you see something which is vertical, which is about 5 foot 8 inches or something like that you see, and it looks like a post or a lamp post, and it also looks like a human being. So you are seeing all the common properties between the two. This is also vertical, that is also vertical, a human being also is vertical, this is also of the same height, that is also of the same height. So you are not, that entity, whether it is truly just a pole or is it a human being, you are not able to say. So a doubt which arises because of cognizing common properties between two entities, two of the possible hypotheses that you have, that kind of a doubt is one type. So by cognizing several common properties, you have a doubt, you are not able to decide this way or that way. The second kind of doubt is you are not able to see any uncommon property. So you have come to the conclusion that this is some new phenomena. So for example, you are doing some experiment, let us say, and you find out some new compound or something like that. You have found out that this is a new compound, that much you know, it is not any of the compounds that you till now worked with, but you are not able to find any distinguishing property which will set this apart from the other. So the non-cognition of the unique property also creates a doubt in the subject. The other kind of doubt that you can have is contradictory opinions. This is very common, it happens to us. So one news channel says something about a political event, another news channel says something else about a political event. So you are in your doubt in your mind whether this politician is honest or whether this politician is not honest, because one news channel is reporting one thing, another news channel is reporting another thing. So because of these contradictory views, you have doubt. So similarly, some religions say that the soul is transmigratory, other religions say that soul is not transmigratory. So what is the final thing? Is it transmigratory or not? So this kind of contradictory testimonies that you have, the doubt arising out of that is also identified by the Nyaya. The other kind of reason for which you can have, because of which you can have a doubt, is no consistent cognition. So you are seeing some phenomena, but then it is coming up in places where you did not expect it to come up with, or it is coming up, it is not coming up in places where you expected it to come. So for example, if you are traveling in on a very dry kind of a place, let us say, you suddenly see some watery body over there. Now you know that water exists, water is not some imaginary thing. So you are able to something which is looking like water, but you know that this is a very dry place. So a doubt comes inside your head whether it is water or is it a mirage that I am seeing? So the lack of any consistent cognition also creates some doubt in us. The last reason why we may have doubt is because of non-cognition of an entity. So we may expect to find some following our research, we may expect to find some output over here, but we don't find it. So we get a doubt whether this our hypothesis is true or whether our hypothesis is false. So some of the classical examples given for this kind of a doubt is whether the soul exists or not, whether God exists or not, because this is not like the previous example. Water is something that we have seen in various places. It is just that I am getting a doubt here because I am traveling through a dry place. So whether this water is really water or is it just a mirage? Whereas in the this case, it is the non-cognition of an entity. You don't have any idea to begin with. So you don't know whether to believe that God exists or not, whether the soul exists or not. Another very charming example given is whether the water which is there in the roots really exists or not. So you hear from people that the trees drink water from the roots, etc. But we have never perceived these things. So whether trees really take water from their roots or not, of course this was a very ancient example, so they didn't have the advanced techniques that we have maybe today to perceive such things. But for the ancient Vaisheshika philosopher, this was also one of the examples of this kind of a doubt, whether the water in the roots is really there or not. So it happens because of complete absence of knowledge in that particular domain. So the doubt arising in those cases has also been identified by the Vaisheshika. Now once that because of any of these reasons the doubt has come up inside the mind, the person goes ahead to try and find out something about that particular thing using the pramanas that were previously discussed, either by perception or by anumana or by upamana or by shabda. They try to get rid of this doubt.